welcome back. So today's video is an exciting one for me because it is two of some of my favorite things wrapped up into one video. We've got a book haul, a very exciting one, and then I am also going to be gushing about one of my favorite cozy mystery authors and one of my all-time favorite cozy mystery series. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Here we talk all about cozy books, whether it's cozy mysteries or other feel-good books. And in addition to that, I talk a lot about a particular cozy mystery series called the Bakeshop Mysteries series by Ellie Alexander. Now, if you are a long-time watcher, you are maybe rolling your eyes. I don't know, hopefully not. But I talk about this series a lot, and it's for good reason because it is fantastic. It is definitely one of the cozies that I absolutely recommend to beginners or people who are new to the genre. It's one of the cozies that I recommend when people are looking for books with great character arcs and character developments, and it's definitely 1000% a series. Oh my goodness, my books are falling. It's definitely one of the series that I also recommend if people are looking for foodie cozy. So it ticks a lot of the boxes, and stay. And what's really exciting is that even though I have read all except the most recent two, so I believe, oh my gosh, now I have to double check my work. I believe book 21 just came out. Let me double check. Give me just a second. I believe it's book 21 that just came out. No, it was book 20 that just came out. She just released a cover for book 21, which is called Laying Down the Latte, which, side note, amazing. But even though I am currently on book 18, so I haven't read the last two, I do not have all of them in my collection. I have maybe about 5 of them physically, but the other ones I have either borrowed from the library or listened to on audio because I own the audiobook or I've rented the audiobook. Anyway, all that said, I treated myself. I went on a little bit of a book buying binge, what have you, and I decided instead of stressing myself out trying to figure out what new release I wanted to buy, I thought I would buy the entire backlist, all 20, well, minus the 5 that I own, all of the Bakeshop Mystery series, basically, because as much as I love the series, I was shocked that I didn't own it, and I would love to have it on my shelf because the covers all match and they look absolutely divine. And honestly, it's one of those series that I can 100% see myself rereading, and because of that, I wanted to make sure that I had the option to have a physical copy if I decided to do it that way. So the purpose of this video, this is where the haul part comes in. I'm going to do kind of a hodgepodge. I'm going to unpackage the books, if that makes sense, and then I'm going to kind of talk through which ones my favorites are. I'm not going to go through all 20 because this video would be super long, but I will definitely kind of reminisce, just really want to have a casual conversation as if you just popped over as my delivery driver was leaving, and I'm so excited I can't wait until you leave before I open the book. So that said, let's get started. It actually came in 3 packages, I can't even lie, but my kid opened the other 2 thinking that it was something for her. So I've got those books off to the side. We've also got this, which though she be tiny, is quite a mighty package because these are all mass market paperbacks, so a lot of them fit in. So let's just get into it. First up, oh, side note, this is in no particular order. That is not helpful for you whatsoever, but in order to make it easier, I promise if you check the description of this video, I will list all of the books in order so that you know the exact order. And then I'm gonna kind of put a star next to my favorites. And I will say, as we kind of go through this, I often say that cozy mysteries don't need to be read in order. It's very much kind of flavor of the week or murder of the week. And so if you pick one random up, the author will do a good job kind of outlining the premise of the highlighting points in the beginning of the book so that you're quickly caught up, and then you dive into whatever that current murder mystery is. However, for the Bakeshop Mystery series, because it is so long and because a lot of what I like about the book is the emotional punch that it packs, I do think that it's super helpful to start from the beginning or close to the beginning, or at least kind of read them in order, because then that's when the emotional impact gets you the most. Because when something happens to one of the characters, you really feel that because you have all of their backstory under your belt. So that said, let's kind of get into it. I'm gonna try not to give spoilers. But if I accidentally do, then I will kind of flash something on the screen so that way you can skip ahead if you want to avoid any kind of spoilers or anything like that. And when I say spoilers, I mean for the characters. I'm not going to give away who any of the murderers are, but if you're someone like me and you don't want to know like who ends up together or which side characters have like really impactful moments or something like that, I might talk about that. So anyway, first up, now that I got all of that caveat out of the way, we've got Till Death Do Us Tart. This one, have I read this one? I don't know. Hold on. Oh, yes. Oh my God, guys, I have. I don't know. I'm tripping. I literally said I've read all except two. So, of course, I've read this one. So, this one is super fun. I love the cover. Till Death Do Us Tart. As you can tell from both the title as well as what is on the cover, there is a wedding that takes place. And that's all I'll say about that. Though, I feel like I probably could tell you who gets married, but whoops. Books flying everywhere. It's super exciting. Anyway, okay, so next up we have Bake, Borrow, Steal. I love this one too. Okay, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to say that about all of them. But I'm going to give you the highlights because this one takes place in autumn. So if you're somebody who reads seasonally, definitely check this one out. And oh, I remember this one. There is a Elizabethan feast that our main character is helping to put together at the local university, which is fantastic. I should probably say, for those who are either new or who are not familiar with the series, probably should have led with this, but what we've got for the overarching premise is our main character, Juliet, also known as Jules. She owns a bake shop named Tart in the small town of Ashland, Oregon, which, fun fact, is a real place, by the way. And so basically she ends up solving kind of murders and mysteries that happen around the town. Oftentimes she is accompanied with her sidekick, Lance. He is the arts director at the local super famous theater there in Ashland. He's a very flamboyant and fun and over the top and over dramatic character. In addition to that, you meet all of her employees at the bake shop who you come to really grow attached to. And then additionally, you've got other characters such as her mom, the local police detective. She does end up with a husband, which this really isn't spoilers because it's mentioned in the first book that they're estranged, but he's amazing, and I absolutely love the way that that storyline was handled. And you just got this whole gamut of characters, obviously, in addition to the folks who get bumped off in every book. So next up, we've got Sticks and Scones, and I think, let's see, this I don't think is one that I have read. I don't think. Oh my gosh, it's been so long, guys. I probably should have looked up as I was doing this what number this is, but I like this one too. You get Lance in this one because there is, let's see, oh, it takes place during spring. So you get Lance, who is the artistic director, like I said, of the Oregon Shakespeare Theater Festival, and so you got a lot of that like flair and drama if you enjoy that kind of thing in your books. It's still going. It's still going. Next, they put little receipts in every single one of these. Next, we've got Fudge Jury, which I absolutely love. This one, ooh, oh, I remember this one. This is one of my favorites. This takes place during a chocolate festival. And I really enjoy that because there is kind of like a little bit of a competition within that and somebody gets bumped off, but I love the chocolate descriptions and I really like books that have like competitions in them because you get a cast of characters and everybody kind of has their own motive. Next up we have Muffin But the Truth. This one, let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I remember this one. So this one we kind of travel outside of Ashland because Jules and her team they're hired to cater this like this kind of employee getaway function. Like imagine if you were on like a team getaway and you had it catered. You were doing the whole glamping thing. That's what this one is. And I like that one because oftentimes things are set in Ashen, but then every now and again they'll travel somewhere else, and that's a prime example. Next, we've got A Batter of Life and Death, which this is another fall themed book, which is amazing. And coincidentally, this is another one there that features a competition. This one I think is just a straight up baking competition. There's prize money involved. Again, I adore those kind of settings. And I believe she is introduced to somebody in this particular story that ends up becoming kind of like a main character throughout the rest of the book. We're going. I haven't counted how many we're getting through. I'm just kind of pulling these out and like awkwardly holding it. But again, you guys are sitting with me on my couch essentially, and I'm like getting excited, reminiscing about all of these books. Okay, Donut Disturbed. I remember this one and I really loved it. This one, another wedding takes place. I don't know if you can kind of tell from the cover, but it is a donut wedding cake, though it's not really a cake. It's more just like donuts in the shape of a cake to serve the guest. One of the police officers or deputies gets married, hence the donuts. I won't give any more away than that, but it's basically centered around a wedding that takes place, and it's really sweet because of all of the festivities and emotions that surround a wedding. Let's see. It's like Christmas for me, guys, I swear. And honestly, after the day that I had, I really needed this. I have been holding off unboxing this until I made this video, and coincidentally, it's perfect time to do it. Now we've got Live and Let Pie, which, man, I probably should have did this on Friday when it was Pie Day, but here we are. Obviously, it features pie. This one, let's see. Okay, this one, okay. This one I don't remember too well, but I do vividly remember how the murder investigation starts off, because essentially I believe she is kind of on a hike somewhere that's at this lake, and then she's noticing out of the corner of her eyes like a family or whatever kind of frolicking in the water, and one of them freaks out and starts screaming. She runs over to see what's happening, and a body or a skull has washed on shore. So that is definitely something to hook you for the rest of the book. Now we've got Caught Red-Handed, which love that title. One of the other things that I love about this series are the titles. I am a sucker for a punny title, and the fact that they're all food related definitely speaks to my heart. But in Caught Red-Handed, this one definitely has a lot of emotional pulls, which I think you definitely probably should read the previous ones to really understand the impact of this one. Again, I know it's a cozy mystery, and so you're gonna get a murder to solve, but the thing that was enjoyable for me, or the thing that I enjoy often in these books, are the relationships, which says a lot. You know, I think when it comes to cozies, you read different cozies for different reasons. Of course, I read them for the escapism, but I have 100% fallen in love with the characters because Ellie does a great job depicting all of them and making them so realistic. There are books that I have teared up at, which I don't think we've come to them yet, but again, when I do, I'm going to point them out for you guys because they're just so good. So this one is actually set during winter. So again, for those of you who read seasonally, this might be something that you're interested in. Definitely checking it out. We're almost to the bottom of the bag, and then I've got this other stack here. Gotta recycle these. Okay, now we've got On Thin Icing. This one, coincidentally, is during winter, because obviously you can tell from the snow there, but this is another retreat. Oh, is this the one that I'm reading now? Hold on. No. Oh, no. Oh, this is an earlier one. Okay, no. I thought it was the one that I was reading now because coincidentally it takes place, it's snowing outside. But no, this is another good one. I believe it's one of the earlier books in the series. It's set during winter, and her ex-husband is actually accused, or one of the suspects. So that adds a little bit of drama, but in a good way, not in like a soap opera-y way. None of these like emotional things that I keep carrying on about is soap opera-y. It's just very cozy. Think Gilmore Girls, you know, all of the relationships that you find yourself attached to. That's what I would describe it as. Okay, next we've got Chilled to the Cone. This one takes place during summer. This one is definitely great for reading seasonally in the summer because I think in this particular one, she has like a secondary venture in which her and her employees open up this like seasonal ice cream shop, which is super fun. Obviously, there's a murder that takes place, but like, let's be honest, that part is not necessarily as interesting as the food descriptions in some of the cases. So yeah, I love this one. And I think I actually read it during summer. So you can imagine, how many times I wanted ice cream and how many times I probably gave in. All right. So last one in the bag, which has got a sticker on it, which can I peel it off before I get started? No. Thank you, Walmart. Okay. So this is another One Bites the Crust. Let's see. Ooh, okay. In this one, the Shakespeare Festival has returned to Ashland. Oh yes, I love, so there's a couple of these that take place. So one of the things that Ashland is known for is their play festival season, and so their Shakespeare theater is very world renowned in real life, and so Ellie does a lot of that incorporating into her books. Like I said, Lance is the artistic director of it, and so we get a lot of that mentioned in the story. In this particular one, the plot is built around that because one of the actors in one of the plays that they're having is found murdered, and so obviously you're having to interview a wide cast of characters and suspects, and they happen to also be actors, meaning that they lie for a living. So I thought that was a good twist on everything. It doesn't say when this takes place, but having been to Ashland, I know that the festival season, I believe, is like summer-ish or late summer. I know it ends in October, so just think of that time period. That's not very helpful. Okay, so now we're moving on to the other stack, which this is the one that fell. Perfect timing. Mocha She Wrote, my absolute favorite title, simply because I love Murder, She Wrote, and obviously she had to finally have a pun related to that. So this one takes place during the summer. Let's see. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. This is the one that made me tear up. Okay, so in this particular one, one of the employees that works at our shop named Andy, he is the head barista, and we come to love him. We have seen him kind of grow up because he's in college, and he really starts to find himself because working there is kind of like, you know, a side job as he's in college, and he realizes what he wants to be. And like I said, he really grows in the story. So in this particular one, he is in a coffee or barista competition, which again, I love me some competitions. And so you're really rooting for him. Of course, you're getting the other characters, the other baristas who are in this competition along with him. But man, this was such a emotional pull for me, murder aside, because of Andy. 100% you have to read at least a handful of the other books to know who Andy is and his character, because what happens, like I welled with tears because I was so proud of him. Like, I didn't cry because anything was sad. Let me set the record straight. But I really teared up in like a parental pride, because it was just so sweet, all of the things that happened to him, and to see all of his culmination of work. I'm talking about him like he's a real person, but like it truly felt like that. Reading this book, absolutely gave it 5 stars. Absolutely, shed some tears because it was so sweet. But like, can you imagine like a cozy to give you that kind of an emotional punch? It's just, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's so good. Okay, next we've got Nothing Bundt Trouble. This one is a fun twist, and I remember when she was talking about this before it came out, she described it as kind of like a going back in time story, and I couldn't quite understand how she was going to pull that off. Of course, I didn't doubt her, but 100% pulled it off, because what ends up happening is you are getting Jules in present day, and she comes across, I believe, journals of her father, and a case that is happening in real life kind of is wrapped up or related to a case that happened back when her dad was alive, who coincidentally worked alongside the now police detective. And so you are alternating timelines, but again, the timeline that is in the past is really her just reading through her father's notes and following him that way. And you're not confused at all. It's such a unique twist. I think that it came at the perfect time during the series. Not to say that the series was getting stale in any way, but you know, it was something unexpected for readers, and I think that she pulled it off really well. And so this could be a fun one if you wanted to just jump into the series, because you don't necessarily need to know that much about Jules and her dad, simply because when the story starts off, he's already passed. And so it's really just following along with her, following along with him, which again, this is the most that you've learned about him. So I think it's really fun, and it also gives you a sense of who the characters are. So if you wanted to start with this one and then kind of bop around the rest of the series, you could do that, I guess. All right, next we've got A Crime of Passion Fruit. This one, let's see. I remember this one. I love this one too, you guys. I love this one because it's set on a cruise, and I am a sucker for cruise ship settings. And obviously this is one where they leave Ashland and the story takes place somewhere else. So Jules has been recruited to help out on a cruise ship because she actually used to be a pastry chef on a cruise ship. She ran her own team and all of that, and so they desperately needed help, and she offered to pinch hit when they asked her. And so of course she got to invite, you know, some of her friends along, some of her employees to help out. And so, you know, they're investigating a murder and all of that jazz, but all of that wrapped in a fun cruise ship setting. I adore that so much. And again, with cruise ship settings, similar to competitions, you are getting a fun cast of characters who you're only going to see that one time. So you're not necessarily need to give them backstory as they engage and interact with the town or anything. These are just passengers on a cruise ship, and that makes it super fun. Okay, A Smoking Bun. This is the one, book 18, that I am almost done reading. It does take place during winter, and so Jules and the crew are trying to help save this really famous historic local lodge that is in town. It's super well known for the ski lift and people, you know, coming there in the winter to ski and kind of get away from it all, locals and tourists alike. So a lot of things are happening in this, not too many to where it's confusing, but again, she and her crew are trying to do whatever they can to help save it because it is in the red. And then additionally, the person who gets murdered, Andy's friend, is the prime suspect. And again, Andy is her barista. And so she's wanting to really help Andy out because he insists that this guy could never do anything like that. And so it's this whole web of suspects and cast of characters against this snowy backdrop, which is absolutely charming. Next up, we've got Killing Me Souffle. So two of these I haven't read, and I'm trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I think this is the one that I haven't read yet. Okay, I'm not going to read what this is about because I don't want to spoil myself, and I'm pretty sure I know what it's about, and I'm in denial because I might very well start to tear up. But Killing Me Souffle, isn't it pretty? It clearly happens on the coast somewhere. That's all I'm going to tell myself. If you want to know about it, I urge you to look it up. Okay, sorry. No spoilers for myself. So next one. This is the first book in the series, Meet Your Baker. And this is my signed copy that I finally got. This is the book that starts it all. If you want to learn about Jules, the story starts off, it's been ages since I read it, but I think, not counting the murder, the main conflict is that she comes back into town to help her mom, who currently runs Tart, the bakery, and she realizes that her mom is also not doing so well with the business, and Richard Lord, who's like their arch nemesis, is trying to buy it from under them. And so Jules obviously needs to step in and make sure that doesn't happen. Spoiler alert, it clearly doesn't, because we've got 19 other books to go off of that she has this bakery. But there is a murder that takes place, so don't worry, I won't spoil that part. But it's a strong start to the series. There are a lot of food descriptions that I love. And something that Ellie does, she kind of hits on certain things in each book, which I love. It doesn't become stale, but it's one of those things that I expect and I enjoy and I look forward to, and that is having specific scenes in which Jules is working in the kitchen. So oftentimes she is baking to, you know, work through something in her mind or sort through clues mentally, or like kind of have conversations and catalog all of the things that she has learned so far as she does as an amateur sleuth. And so during that time, you're getting a lot of food descriptions and descriptions on the kitchen and how things are put together in terms of pastries. That is really interesting, and I think that that blend is, again, something that makes a series so good. I'm not going to apologize for going on and on about it, because this is finally the video for me to do that, but I absolutely adore that so much, you guys. And like, it amazes me how good of a writer Ellie is, because even after all these books, I'm still sucked in and I still look forward to these descriptions. And there are recipes in the back, and I know people have baked them, like Courtney over at Cortagonist. She has this whole series in which she reads the books and then bakes whatever one of the recipes is at the end. And Ellie herself has said that she has tried these in her own test kitchen to make sure they are good before adding them to the book. So anyway, moving on to the next one, we've got Catch Me If You Candy, which is another fabulous title. This one takes place during fall because it's actually set around Halloween, obviously because of the cover and the title of the book. Let me see. Oh, I was right. It's the end of the season at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is October. Let's see. Oh, this one is a little silly. This one was a little fun because there is a dog involved. His name is King George. Anybody who names their dog King George is a bit of a character. I'll just kind of put it at that. So there you go. All right, we are rounding the bases at the last two. Next up, we have A Batter of Life and Death. Did I read this one already? I feel like... See, like, when I ordered these, I thought I knew which ones that I owned, but I was on such a click-happy path. I don't know if I ordered a duplicate, so I don't think I went through this one already. Oh, I did. I ordered this, and I own it already. Oh, no. Okay, well, here we go. We've already talked about this one. Whoops. I guess I shall donate this in a free little library. My bad. Okay, so now we're on to the last one. A Cup of Holiday Fear. This one is set during Christmas, and I vividly remember reading this because it was around Christmas time. I love this one too. Okay, this one takes place during Christmas time, of course, but Jules and the crew are organizing this, what are they calling it? Okay. So the Dickens Feast at the Winchester Inn, which, fun fact, the Winchester Inn is a real place, and I've stayed there, and it's fabulous. I highly recommend checking out my vlog for when I visited Ashland, because I think I give a tour of the grounds, but that's really fun, because I definitely reread parts of this book after I visited just to kind of compare the descriptions with what I actually saw, which was so trippy. But yes, there is a feast happening, which I love because, stay with me here, for those of you who are Gilmore Girls fans, do you remember the episode called The Bracebridge Dinner? I absolutely love that one. So for those of you who are familiar with the Gilmore Girls episode in which they have the Bracebridge Dinner, where Suki has like all of this food back from like the 18th century or whatever, and they dress up in the old attire and serve food. This book is for you because that's essentially exactly what they do. And like, I love those kinds of settings. I made the comparison to Gilmore Girls before. This one definitely does that because of the freaking dinner, which is amazing. And I will say, because it's not just me pulling that comparison out of thin air, because Ellie has said when she originally started writing this, she really wanted to, she thought about Jules and her mom being like Lorelai and Rory and that kind of motherly relationship. Now, obviously, Jules is older than a high school student, but I totally see that, and I definitely see Ashlyn, or the way that she depicts it, being very similar to Stars Hollow in the sense to where you have your Richard Lord, which is Taylor Dosey, you know, kind of like that curmudgeon guy who's in everybody's business. In fact, when I'm reading the story, I totally think of him in my mind. And then you've got all of the different kind of quirky cast of characters, and it's just absolutely amazing. So that's my book haul / love letter to the Bakeshop Mysteries series. I absolutely adore it. If you have not read it, I highly recommend it. I think it's a fantastic cozy series. I think it's a fantastic just regular fiction book for people looking to kind of escape. I think that the murders are plotted really well. So let's talk about the murder aspect, because obviously that is the title in cozy mystery murders. Anyway, that's the whole point of them sometimes, right? I don't go into cozies trying to guess. As I'm reading, I do kind of joke with myself like, oh, it could be this person. Oh, it could be that person. But I will say the way that she plots the murders are very smart. They're not all overt or in your face. They're not also just so left field to where there were never any breadcrumbs for you to realize along the way. And I also really appreciate that. And I think that's another reason that her books are so popular, because you are actually engaged and surprised by a lot of the ending and the reveal because of the different motives or the different methods in which people are bumped off, basically. So hopefully you have stuck around with me on my rambling. If so, thank you so much. And let me know if you've read any of these. If so, which ones your favorites are. Like I said, I will have the books in the description so that you guys have an idea of the order as well as which ones my personal favorites are. I'm happy to chat about these anytime, whether they're in the comments or on my Instagram. And I think that's it. So thank you so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, happy reading, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!